Welcome back, Gaming for XP. Welcome back to Fixing Up the Commonwealth. And we're back for day 2 of the bunker build. And when you last left us, we got kind of all the main components set down where we wanted them after much struggle and pain. And today we're going to get some kind of just fundamental stuff done, and then we'll start building a little bit more. So I will warn you, this is going to be quite a long episode, and there'll be a fair bit of stuff sped up, like putting in junk walls and the like. So we'll get into just putting some walls in on the boundary to start with, and then we'll start to play around with some build ideas for you. So here we go. I hope you enjoyed the first video. I'm recording these back to back, so I haven't seen your comments just quite yet. Trying to get as many videos done before Christmas as possible, and we'll just speed this up with the walls, and we may give you a wee bit of music because we haven't done that for a while. So there's a little tune called Demilitarized Zone from Ethan Myexel. Hopefully I am pronouncing that right. I apologise if I haven't. It's not my strong point. Great artist. Hopefully I'll leave a link down below for that. You can get it through YouTube. One of the musics that they allow you to use without incurring a copyright infringement. So if you want to check him out, he is a good artist. If you like that type of music, he has a website as well, so it's well worth checking out. So, got the fences in finally, and I've kind of mixed them up a little bit. As you can see, junk fences and some other stuff, and just to kind of change up the look. Getting a bit dark, so we had a little bit of a sleep and come back and we'll do some additional building now, I guess. There we go. See, having a look around, you can hop down off the ladder and we'll get into it. Now at this point it's looking pretty plain around here, and there's a big area here that I struggled a little bit what I was going to do, but it does all turn out well in the end, as it always does. So what we're going to do here is, I had an idea about, I had to figure out how I was going to link this kind of bottom area here with the top area. Now obviously you can walk along the top there, but I didn't want to have to walk all the way around just to get on the top of the bunker roof. So I'm putting a prefab down here so I can snap something off it, just like that. And the problem I guess I have initially is I wanted something that was going to that you can virtually walk straight up onto the roof with. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. And just using the prefab like this is just a guide for me, just to be able to snap something off and just eyeball it. And then I'll use place anywhere just to get it into the right place. I thought I'd leave that technique in because it's, if you don't have place anywhere, it's a good way of doing it. There we go, like that, just a bit straight, nearly. Now what I do is I build a little bit of a staircase here, and I'll show a couple of techniques. I've left this in. It's not the stairs I go with at the end of the day. Just again, one of those things that happens when you're building. You have initial idea, it sort of works, and then as the build progresses, it kind of it sort of becomes not the best option. But for now, and to kind of visualize how that would work and how that will look, I've put that set of stairs in. So I want to work on, see, I just got rid of the tree there. Oops, a daisy. Yeah, that's not good. Anyway, not to fear, we fix that up, and look, lo and behold, the tree's back by the magic of video editing. So I'm going to make this into a little guard area up here. So I'm going to put some of these outer caps on. That snaps straight in, weirdly enough, even though it's outside the boundary, and so does this little floor for some reason, and it wouldn't snap before. Sometimes it's better not to question those kind of things. So it kind of sparks an idea for me. I'm just checking that it's not poking up outside. Now you see there's a gap in those stairs there, and usually what I do if I have an issue like this is I'm going back to show you what I would do to fix this. At least this is my solution. These boxes are fantastic for fixing these kind of things. So one on top of the other, slide it in, push it up, and she's a beauty. And then all you have to do then is get a single box like that and line it up, and you should be able to just walk straight up those like that. Now that's not straight. I'm going to cut this, all the finagling around, and we'll get to what I end up with. But essentially, if you're looking for something, if you have an issue like this and you have a gap like that, this is one solution for you. And you can see what I've done with the final part of that. Put boxes on the side just to hide the kind of size, because it was too short for that, the width of those stairs. So I've put some boxes on the side just to hide that fact. Okay, so back to our little guard area up the top here, and I start to put some roofs on and stuff, and it kind of sparks some ideas about where we can go with this build. I did have an idea that I was going to build another level on this tree, so a level above. I don't end up doing that. I end up building something else, and which you'll see fairly shortly. Support posts in as ever, and I want to kind of give this a sort of open feel, a sort of enclosed feel, somewhere in the middle there. I don't want it to be too enclosed. So put some of these metal walls you get with USO in, and put them together so they kind of merge into each other, and they're pretty soft, and you can do that pretty simply with them, just to block that area up, and then we'll run some roofs off of there too. So you can see we've got a little bit of a gap next to the tree there. Just plug that up. So it occurred to me maybe these pallets, and there's some different kinds, that and that one just for some reason fits in there perfectly, so we'll just drop it down, hope it is a green one, which it is, I think. There we go. I don't know why it hangs up on there, but it does. drop it down, it sinks in nicely, and there we go. Beautiful. That plugs that gap nicely. There we go. All good. All good. You can see I'm getting some frame rate drops in here, and I think you might have noticed that when I was doing the junk fences. You see how that, and the thing to do is just exit out of the menu you're in, and usually it will fix it. So I'm going to use some of these railings again, playing around a lot with USO, see what it's got to offer, and might as well add them and just see. It's giving it a different look. I'll look at one of the things that occurred to me a couple of weeks ago is, especially when we're doing the kind of hunting lodge and then the megaton kind of house, that we need a little bit of contrast in the builds. If it's all wood, it just all looks much the same, and doesn't really have, it's not really too exciting. So adding a little bit of pops of colour with the metal and whatnot. So here's I can't get that to snap there, so what I do is I snap these little ones across and down, and then I'd say it's not quite right, so I'm just going to have an overhang like that. There you go. So it all looks like the same roof. There we go. All good. So what can we do next? So here I'm looking for inspiration and wonder, well, can I build something more than that up here? And you can see me almost thinking. It's often a good idea just to step back and have a look and just see if it will spark anything. So what I decided to do is that there's a whole lot of little prefabs, or in the prefabs tab there's a whole lot of the kind of, you have the kind of basic prefabs, and then there's a whole lot of little kind of building houses that they've built out of various things, and I kind of pull those out and have a look at them, and it kind of inspires me to build a little area up the top, on top of the bunker. And I'd always kind of intended to do that, to build on top of the bunker, but I just really wasn't sure what the look was going to be like. Just clipping that on so I can pick it up again with Place Anywhere, just ease it into place where I think it roughly needs to be. Make sure that it's sitting above the level of the bunker though, because if you don't, you won't be able to clip things off it, and I'll have that issue in a second. Looking at how we're going to get up there, that's not really going to work. Anyway, it needs to be straightened up and be raised just a fraction, and I end up using this ladder. That's the solution I go with in the end, and that'll be a little doorway. There we go. You can see at this end it's just a little bit fraction low, so I want to snap a floor onto it, play around with all the different shack outer walls and stuff that might clip into here, but I realise I'm going to have to put a floor down. So I'm fighting here. You can see it's not quite high enough. There we go. Now we fixed it. Anti-shimmer it, which pushes it back down again. And you can see this kind of stuff I usually cut out because it just takes forever to do, but it's important that you get it right to start with. Finally got something to clip off of it, anti-shimmer it, and we're all good. And then we'll put the ladder in. So it's all starting to appear. So I'm actually on a roll here, starting to get on a roll here. Dropping some floors in, and we'll just keep going until something appears from the you can see that's the prefab I was talking about to the right there. It's kind of my inspiration on potentially what we could build, or just a starting point to try and get the creative brain into gear. There's this kind of rounded outer shack wall, which I think, yeah, that now we're starting to get somewhere. That looks okay. And luckily for me, sometimes when you build these, and if you've watched the channel for a while, you know, sometimes when you build things like this, you have some issues with putting roofs on, custom roofs on, and all that kind of stuff. But I'm luckily in this build, it all kind of sort of works out well. So as far as something like a roof goes, it fits in beautifully. So that I can see what's the problem here. That little cloth piece that's over the building in front of us is kind of stopping things clipping in and whatnot. So just have to do a little bit of work using place anywhere to get that to fix itself. Covering these gaps because I want a semi-level floor here. So I'm going to use the ply boards here just to fix that kind of and level the floor off a little bit. See, that will clip in. Just got to persuade this in like that. And these wood pieces are fantastic. These ones here, yep, especially will fix that gap up right there. Just drops right into that slot there very nicely, and on the other side as well. Try to get as high as you can. There we go, and that's all fixed up. Cool. So we're starting to get somewhere now. Starting to come together big time. Try and get this wall to snap in. For some reason it wouldn't snap. There you go, it snapped there, but it won't snap to that. So there you go, and then suddenly it does. I love you, Bethesda. Put a door in. There we go. We got a little house up here now. Fantastic. Let's chuck the roofs on. And as I said, for some reason the roofs actually just work with this one. Usually that never happens. That roof's not quite right. See, there's a gap, but it's alright. It all works out. It's okay, people. It's fine. Because when I come across here, I realise that this roof is off there. Push that across. Put a big one in. Where is it? There it is. That should fit perfectly in there. There we go. We're cooking with gas. Look at that. Fantastic. Need a wall in there. One of those. Cool. And so here we go. It's just all starting to click into gear. All the roofs are working. It must be my Christmas present for Bethesda. I think that because this build has not been smooth, as I said in the first video. Not at all. Quite the contrary. So I'm going to put a little balcony in here. So I'm just going to use standard railing. Bang. Little balcony. Done. One of the things that did bother me a little bit, and I end up fixing it, but it did for virtually most of the build, is supporting the support of that building on top of the bunker, but I come up with a solution. I don't think I show it in this video, but I do come up with a solution. So finally we're getting somewhere. I've cut out all the bit where I put these kind of chain link fences in, but I'm just showing you I extend them here just a fraction. Because I think if you have a facility or you come across these kind of military bases around the Commonwealth, they usually have a chain link fence connected to them, and they're all kind of cornered off. So I thought it was just a way of separating it a little bit and giving it a bit of definition, to make it look like maybe it's just a little bit of a restricted area. So we'll put these fences in here. To my right here, there's a little pathway. So I don't want to take this fence out too far because there's a kind of natural pathway. I might show you. I might clip one there in a second. I don't know if I do here or not. But there's a kind of natural pathway that leads up the hill there, and I didn't want to see like that. I don't want to block it. So. And I don't want to put a gate on here. I want to leave it kind of fairly open, and I do come up with something else to do there later. So there we go. Yep, kind of defines that area a little bit more. So we're nearly there. We got probably one or two last little pieces to do, and then most of the rest of it is decoration, which I generally don't show you in these videos. The above shack is going to end up as a little kind of barracks area for the soldiers along the wall, and we're going to make the bottom area into a kind of, I don't know, administration area. We'll see how we go. The little orange and cream trailer is going to be a radio kind of communications area for the Minutemen. So I know there was some comments the other week about maybe doing some secret areas for the kind of railroad and that kind of stuff. But I guess the problem is with this save, I've made that Minutemen headquarters right on the top to my left, and so I'm kind of locked in with the theme a little bit. There you go, just put one of those roofs in there. Just something else that you can add to the bunker just to make it have a little bit more dimension and something a little bit different as opposed to just that frontage there. And we're not going to do too much with this area, it's just defining it a little bit more, making it look a little bit more interesting. Put the posts in, one on each side. And then I have a flash inspiration of what I can do, because I want to put a floor down here. You'll see what I do in a second. There we go. Just get that straight and pull it down a bit. There we go. And then I have to pull them out and redo them in a second. But never mind. Okay, so it would be nice to kind of have a floor there. And what can we use? And I love these pallets, and so that's what we're going to use. The pallets to feature heavily in this build, but I do like them as a kind of alternative to flooring. So and for what we're this little kind of lean-to, they are absolutely perfect. So we'll put them right there. They're almost the sort of the right width too, but we're going to use the broken ones, I think. Yeah, maybe that one. There we go. Perfect. Now, you can see it's not clipping in. We have to remove those posts to get them to clip in and put the posts back in. Again, just build order. There we go. We'll just get rid of that for a second. So we can pull that up just a fraction. There we go. Just like that. What I like about these pallets as well is they're very soft, so they all clip into each other fairly easily. If you need them to. Put one more in, and we are pretty close to being finished now. And just vary them up a little bit, just to change the look. I like the maybe that one. So I'm trying different colours to see if it will work. I don't think it does. It just doesn't seem right. So we'll go back just to the natural one, I think. And she's a good one. There we go. That one there. You see how that all kind of clips in to each other. Now what happens here is this particular post will sink like that. Let's pull it down a little bit. There we go, and we'll just place anywhere. Done. This other post, for some unknown reason, just won't. It will not clip down into the ground. Refuses to go any further than that. So I have to get. It's an easy fix. You can see it flicks back up. Easy fix. You just get a shorter pole. It's not hard. When the game is fighting you, it is fighting you. So there we go. So we just put a shorter post in, and it's perfect height. There we go, just like that. Get into position. There we go. Get a little lean-to, little area, little different area for people to do some relaxing or whatever. You can use it for storage. Whole lot of possibilities there. So last little bit before we get to the tour, and I'm kind of looking at it now, and it's still looking a little bit bare, and this is kind of the start of the decoration process. But ideally what I would have liked to put is a military vehicle, but you just don't realise how big some of these vehicles are. So that, if that sits in there, it blocks the view of that cabin, so it's kind of crazy. So I'll go back to the good old traditional pickup truck and try a couple of things. Try it in front, see if it works in front, or does it work behind the fence. And again, I think it works behind the fence a bit better than it does in front. So when you're trying these things and trying to do some decoration, vary it up, try different things. Eventually you'll get the look right. And one of the problems that's much better for me personally but I need to just turn that truck around, I think. Yeah, it's not quite right, it needs to go the other way. That tailgate, there we go, done. So how close is that? Just move it in a little bit closer. There we go, and that's pretty much the end of the build, guys. We'll be cutting to the tour in a second. I hope you've enjoyed this and hope you enjoy the tour. So guys, here we go. We're going to do a late afternoon tour. We haven't done one of those. The sun's starting to set, and you can see I've done a heap of changes since the last time we were here. Lovely banner about the Minutemen rebuilding America. We've junked it up in the front here, put a couple of barriers and whatnot, and a whole heap of junk in front of them, just to add some dimension to the overall look of this part of the settlement. You know, doing the mandatory kind of pallets and barrels. Somewhere to sit at here and contemplate your navel if you like. I've added a few things to the truck, not too much, just a couple of boxes, just to make it look as though it's just been abandoned. Communication devices, because this is a little radio communications area in here. And the gentleman, he's not here at the moment, but he obviously lives in here and does whatever he needs to. He's an avid reader as well. Tried to keep it reasonably simple in here. So next door, the bunker. Usually when you find these bunkers in Fallout 4, they have a little desk in them. So I've tried to keep true to what you generally see. It's a little desk. Obviously people have been in drinking coffee and half conversations and left. You can see that's dropped into the floor and hasn't. You got to be careful when you're putting things on this floor because they tend to sink into it. Nice little office area. I'll show you what's up above in a minute. Nice little miniature safe there. There's a larger safe with some bottle caps in. I think that's gold there. So another little sleeping area up here for the person whose office this is. Obviously he's one of the Minutemen, I would say. And now let's just head upstairs. Now I want to do a little bit more decoration around the back there, but that's not going to be for today. I'm not sure what I'm going to make that area underneath there. Here we go, here's the barracks for the soldiers to sleep in. Kept it pretty sparse. It's a nice little balcony so you can look at and see what's going on. There you go. And this is pretty standard kind of barracks. A little table for playing cards and having a drink and something to eat. There's obviously a toilet there in case you get caught short. Some lockers to store your stuff. And then a little guard area here, and obviously there's a little fire to keep you warm. Some ammunition boxes there and whatnot. Been a busy area down here. Careful we don't fall through that hole there. So let's run across the bridge here. And that's pretty much it. We've got a couple of turrets on the top, and overall I'm pretty pleased the way this is going up and come out and how it's kind of materialized. What we are going to do, we'll show you the walls. Go outside. We've still got to work on this area up here as far as making it secure. And to your left here is a lot where the super mutants and whatnot spawn, so you can see the fencing and how it looks from the outside. It all works pretty well. I think it looks pretty. I'm really happy with how it's all turned out. It kind of all naturally blends into the wall of the workshop there and along the perimeter. So guys, that's the build done. I hope you've enjoyed it. It took a while. It was not without its challenges. So, to the question for next week. We're going to hop up on this ladder. and the question is, what area should we do next? Should we do the market, those couple of market stalls in there, or should we do the area we're actually standing in and build that up, which is right there? And as ever, give me some ideas what you want to see, and we'll see what we can do about building it. Okay guys, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel, and we'll catch you next time.